Hey guys, I'm flying Operation Uranus because who doesn't love a nice anus? And I'm flying it in my 109G-2 because if you have access to a G2, why the hell wouldn't you fly a G2? And I'm currently uploading a video to YouTube as I'm recording this, and I did not realize that until right now. This very well may be a mistake, but we're trying anyway. The 109G-2. Oh, is this playing fun? To the clouds! It can outclimb the Law 5 and then beat the shit out of it in every other way. Long story short, the Law 5, which is the most dangerous plane the Russians get, the Law 5s and MiG-3s are probably all we're going to run into. And 109G2 beats it in pretty much every way. And by pretty much every way, I mean literally every way. They might be able to outturn us, but I'm not stupid, so I don't plan on turning with anyone. Got 573 ping. Long story short, if I can get a kill in this match, you are no longer allowed to bitch about having bad internet. But the game is bitching about bad internet. And, yeah, the game does not appear to be happy with the state of my internet. Oh well. We're gonna climb with WEP until we start overheating. The water temperature is probably gonna overheat first. Then we're going to kick WEP off and keep climbing anyway. Got my buddy coming up behind me. So, Operation Uranus, I don't know that much about Uranus. No, seriously, I don't know that much about Uranus. But it was one of the first Soviet offenses, I'm pretty sure, that did a pretty good job of beating the crap out of the Germans. It's basically when the war went from the siege of Stalingrad and its ultimate complete and total failure is when the Soviets started winning against the Germans. And this happened quite a long way before the other allies started beating the Germans. Basically, the Soviets took the vast majority of the German aggression and then they beat them back, and then the rest of the world dogpiled on Germany after the Russians started beating them back. And, I mean, that's pretty much what happened. And this is basically the offensive. I'm pretty sure that this isn't, I don't know if this is the seed, I don't actually know what Operation Uranus was specifically. Shut up, TV. But, I mean, this was it. This is when the Germans started losing, and playing as the Germans in it, doesn't make me terribly happy. That 109 must not be using WEP at all for me to be losing him this quickly. We're going to start scanning the sky. We're not going to look above us because there's nobody on their team that could be above us yet. And I'm basically just going to look and scan the sky. I'm going to see somebody someday. I really like the winter maps because it's generally pretty easy to spot people against the ice on the ground. And a nice clear blue sky should also be pretty easy to spot people in. Got a 109 over there who's not climbing because he's dumb. We got, I don't know about that plane. I'm not sure how well it performs at low altitude. Oh, I made a mistake there. My WEP on for way too long. Anyway, that 109 down there. Hopefully I haven't started burning valves out yet. But hey, you know, we all do stupid things from time to time. So basically me and one other 109 are playing smart. Everybody else is playing like a bunch of not smart people. But you know, fuck it, whatever. Intelligence. War thunder. These things don't go together well. So the Germans, their aircraft do tend to lose their performance at high altitude pretty quickly, but not even half as fast as the Russian planes lose their performance at high altitude. Basically, if you're playing Russian, if you're in a Law 5, climb for your life, and if you can't get above the enemy, you're probably gonna die. Yeah, I don't like them very much. But if you're in any other Russian aircraft, you should climb to about 4K meters and then just hang out there and wait for the Germans to get above you and attack you from above and try and regain the energy advantage. If you end up just climbing like this, there's a Cheka somewhere down low. I can go worry about him significantly later. Basically, at high altitude, German aircraft, while they don't perform anywhere near as well as the American planes do, they perform much better than the Soviet planes do. So all you really have to do is stay at high altitude, and there's just nothing the enemy can do. I've started somewhat calming down my climb rate So they very well may be getting above me now if the Law 5s are really climbing like crazy, but the G2 Trop is one of the best climbing planes in the game by a pretty good margin. I'm just going to balance out at about 6k meters. I don't think I have to go above that. Then I'm going to look around. We already started losing people. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 5 people on their team. And we lost 2 people. Yep, one of them's Flock. Dude, you're at low altitude in the 109. What the hell were you expecting to have happen? So we're gonna go down after these guys, I guess. We might as well just fly top cover if none of the enemies are brave enough to come up here. I'm gonna keep my eye on him if I see him start diving. It's probably because he found someone. I'd really like to not end up doing an uphill battle. Let's see how good the 109 loops. Long story short, the 109 loops extremely well. With that said, we are sort of at a somewhat high altitude, and I was only doing about 160. A Thunderbolt can also loop at that speed. The difference is the 109 comes out at the top of the loop under control, while the Thunderbolt would come out at the top of the loop, not really, pretty much stalled, and then they'd fall back to where the bottom of the loop was before they really regained control. We're going to go under this guy, then zoom climb behind him, I think. If I zoom climb above him, I might not have the energy I need. Oh yeah, look at him. Derpy Russian guy. Oh no, he was maneuvering too. And we're going to go vertical, and he's going to go horizontal. Yeah, he's using mouse aim. You can tell by how he's wobbling. Is he going to come back after me? Come on. I probably shouldn't be sitting up here at altitude like this. Especially not now that he's maneuvering with that other guy. But he's giving me his tail. It's nice to know that one guy's getting AA at least. I'm not going to fire my cannons. I'm just going to sprinkle 30s at him. I'm going to try and get him to come up at me. I'm going to try and starve him of energy. Basically what I'm saying is I'm going to energy fight. Believe it or not, 109s do that really well. And I'd rather face down the Law 5 than the Yak 7. That 109 should be able to handle him. Law 5's also energy fight well, so I might have to press him into a bit more of a turn fight, or I might just zoom him. I have enough energy on him that I should be able to get him pretty easy. I can use WEP for a little bit here in this dive to build as much speed as I can. Then I'm clicking off. I am going to fire my cannons on this run. No, I'm not. Not if he's maneuvering. I don't want to waste the ammo just yet. I'm going to turn after him. I'm going to try and get him to turn up at me. You really want them to turn up. You want to keep them fighting in the climb. The Law 5, that's not such a good idea because the Law 5 climbs really well as well. But yeah, basically what you want to do with what energy fighting really is, it's fighting in a climb. It's making sure the enemy is always moving up, because you have a really good sustained climb rate, and it's also making sure they stay at low speed. If they end up at high speed, certain aircraft zoom well enough that they can gain an advantage from you. This guy did something dumb. And there we go. That's kill number 1 for me. Considering how little experience I have in realistic battles, I'm pretty good. Partially it's because I'm using a G2 against low-tier Yaks and the first Law 5. Even with bad internet connection, this is not a fair fight. I am in a much better plane than them. Evolution 2's got quite a bit of altitude. Is he? Is he gonna? Nope, but I'm rolling on, or I'm split S-ing on him. This is I'm fighting the fight that 109s love fighting in this climb fight, and that one guy just happened to get baited by one of my allies perfectly. I could keep pressure on him, pull up away from him. Oh, he pulled up too. Basically, we both want to stay up. We want to stay at high altitude. The Law 5 does a lot better at low altitude. Not better than we do. We are gonna... Well, no, actually I'm pretty sure their climb rate exceeds ours at low altitude. But yeah, basically we want to stay at high altitude and we want to keep pressure on them. And I want to kill this guy while he's an easy target if he stays an easy target. If he goes head on with me, that won't be such a great idea. Oh... Didn't nose down well enough. But now he's coming back up underneath me. Doesn't matter, he does not have the energy. he could have tried shooting at me. I'm going to leave my weapon to try and get as much speed as I can in this loop. I'm probably going to need it. It'll help me close with him faster. I don't know where the Law 5 went. There he is. I'm going to switch targets to Law 5. If he tries to zoom climb again... Oh! I made a mistake. Going to turn down into him and give myself a hard target. There we go. And then we're going to extend down and zoom away from him. Going to extend towards the Aleutian 2. He's not going to be able to get his weapons on me in time. I'm just going to extend past him. I'm going to try and get this guy. And that's what you have to do when you're surrounded by enemies. You switch between them repeatedly. Well, you know. I don't know if the Law 5 can follow me in this. I'm not going to risk it. So instead of going over the top, I'm going to split S. And we're just going to keep pressure on them. We're slowly losing altitude, which means they're starting to gain more of an advantage on us. But as long as I maintain enough of an energy advantage, it doesn't matter where our climb rates are. I'm kind of doing a hybrid between energy and zoom fighting against them. And this 109 shouldn't be diving. I mean, if he's lost enough energy, he's going to have to. He still shouldn't. And now I'm just using the ridiculous amount of ammo I have for this gun just to try and scare this guy off. Nope, and I'm not gonna follow him. I'm gonna lose too much energy if I keep diving. Oh, but I have to. Gotta help your ally. That was a nice hard turn. Come on, roll plane. Oh, the 109's roll rate at speed is bad. He's gonna turn back towards me. That was a dangerous overshoot, which means he's gonna get shots at me. If I can extend away from him, it's not going to matter. And I managed to extend away from him fast enough, so it's not going to matter. Really wish I could do damage to these guys, but it looks like I can't. Gonna keep my eye on that Law 5. He definitely, the energy level between us has dropped enough, and they've got us pinned against the ground. So I'm not going to be able to keep this up forever. Solution 2 down here does not have a lot of energy on me. See the Law 5 coming up? Oh, fuck. I think I got myself killed just now. Gonna cut under him. Gonna extend past him. Law 5 can't catch me. Not the illusion. Oh, Law 5 can catch me. Oh, come on, team. Well, it happened again. I'm not sure if the Law 5 can keep up with me at low altitude or not. He could definitely catch me at high altitude. Or I can outperform him at high altitude. Already overheating my engine though. I'll turn fight the Law 5. The 109 is not a good turning plane, but I will turn fight him. If we get these Illusion 2s to leave me alone. Could do a 10-degree climb so I don't lose too much speed. The 109 does better at higher speeds than the Law 5 does. Not that the Law 5 doesn't do well at speed, just the 109 does better. Get a nose down a bit, let my engine cool off. As I turn my weapon on and off, with weapon I can outrun him and I can outclimb him, but I can't leave my weapon indefinitely like he can. You bastards in your air-cooled engines. So this is going to turn into a boring game real fast. Alright, now at this point in time, I do zoom better than he does. And because I zoom better than he does, I can do a split S cut underneath him. This is going to be silly. This is going to give him a shot, but I don't necessarily need to do something. Extend straight. And he didn't time it right. If he timed it better, he would have had my tail. But he did. And I'm going to use my Superior Speed, cutting under the Illusion 2. Don't want to give him an easy shot either. The Illusion 2 is irrelevant though. And I'm not zooming as well as I should be because the Law 5's high speed drag profile is garbage, but with WEP especially, I should be out zooming him. You know, in theory, I'm a fucking little asshole. Oh, my team. I'm gonna go head on with the Illusion 2. I'm gonna do it again, I'm going head on with the Illusion 2. And I'm gonna kill the Illusion 2, and I'm gonna get killed by Illusion 2. Or I'm gonna die right here, I don't know. It's gotten to that point where we had lost, and I can bail out or I can ram someone. Or I can have a fair fight, but there was no fair fight because the Illusion 2 wouldn't leave. So I'm gonna let this guy derp around, do whatever he wants, and I'm just gonna leave. No reason for me to stick around at this point. I admit that was a somewhat cheap thing, and I probably shouldn't have done it. Rammers are terrible people, but hey, he did the same thing. Alright, he moved in towards me. I'm pretty sure he had run out of ammo. And now I'm thinking about it, the Law 5 didn't shoot at me either. The Law 5 might have run out of ammo too. Anyway, there you go. So that was that. G2, great plane. It does pretty good in realistic. I don't play it in realistic a lot. I prefer the one a tier lower than it, as it doesn't run into Mustangs. But when you're doing an event and the most dangerous plane on the enemy team is a Law 5, it does extremely well. Basically, in my personal opinion, the F4 should have been the cutoff if they were going for fairness, but they probably weren't going for fairness. They were going for historical accuracy. And historically, at that point in time, the Russian aircraft were a bit worse than the German aircraft. Basically, when you're doing an event that's Germany versus Russia, if you check the list and the Yak 3 isn't in the list, then the Germans are probably going to have the advantage. Because the Germans tended to have the best aircraft for their time for most of the early part of the war. It wasn't until the Yak 3 and the Mustang were introduced when it really started to turn around against them. So that was fun. I was Operation Uranus. It only lasted for 4 hours, and by the time I have this video uploaded, it's probably going to be an hour or so. As I said, I am uploading a video right now. What video am I uploading? Hey, I'm uploading a Sabres and Arcade video right now, and I'm going to upload this one pretty much immediately, because that was a good video. Good-ish. Decent. It was acceptable. But yeah, realistic battles, Zoom fighters in realistic battles tend to be a little overpowered if they're played right. And this is a Zoom fighter compared to most of the Russian planes, and I played it right. And we would have won if it didn't come down to me versus 3 people at the end. And we might have won anyway if I wasn't an asshole and rammed someone intentionally. Which, don't do it. Don't be a rammer. Rammers are terrible, terrible people, and they should all be shot. Don't ram.